Basically today I just wanted to talk to you about my tips on kind of how to stay on the wagon. I know that it's really hard. It's January. Okay, there's a lot of expectations out there that we put on ourselves, and it's not easy when you're trying to make health changes. You know, if it was so easy, everybody would be walking around with their six packs and kissing the guns, right? But it's not that way, and it takes commitment and it takes a lot of planning for there to be success that is sustainable. For me, the key is sustaining uh, your changes, because I think a lot of people kind of go in this wave, and it's really hard to kind of stay consistent if you don't have a plan. So for me, planning is everything. So that's what I kind of want to talk to you about today, is how to stay on and stay motivated. Um, Obviously, January, like I have here, is that people make a lot of plans, and it's sometimes really hard to follow through. In the beginning, you are full of motivation. You're like got your everything, your workouts ready, and your accountability partner, and you've got a plan. And a few weeks later, it dips, and then it's like life kind of starts to take over, and your motivation drops, and your commitment and your everything just kind of takes a little bit of a drop. And then you kind of get left feeling with defeat and feelings of failure, and that's really hard because it stops us from progress. And so I want to share to you today my tips on how you can kind of keep up that motivation, what you can do to stop those feelings of defeat. So figuring out your why is really, really important. I think we've heard that a lot today. That's something that everybody's kind of been touching on. For your fitness changes, it is important. Like, you need to know truly in yourself why you want to make the change. Sometimes if it's superficial, it doesn't seem to last. But if you really sit down and think with yourself and take the time, maybe you want more energy, and it can be a lot of things. If you want energy because a lot of people just feel tired of feeling sick and tired, and especially right now with COVID, I think everybody's in a place that we've never had to be before. There's so many restrictions. There's a lot of Netflix binging. Okay, that is happening. It's a thing. You may want to feel stronger. You want muscles. You just want to look better and feel better. Find that place where you were maybe in your past, although you won't be there again as things change. But kind of get that feeling of when you felt strong. If you want to feel happier, I think that's really important. Exercise is one of the best shifters for mood. When I've been feeling, struggling in this past year, like with COVID and my business having to be shut down, that it's been hard. If I didn't have exercise, I don't know what I would have done, because no matter what, there has never been a workout that I've done that after I was like, man, I wish I never did that. That was terrible. Like never, not once ever in all of these years, right?
That's
So
hilarious. I love it.
yeah, but you have to just get there. And sometimes, like Joanna was just saying, you need someone to kick you in the butt, and you have to get there. You have to just put yourself on robot mode and get your butt downstairs or to your gym when it opens, or wherever you have to go. So I think it's really important to obviously figure that out, and it can be a list of all of the things that you need on that list of why you're wanting to make these changes. And I recommend like putting them places that you're going to see them often, to remind yourself, so that if you want to put up pictures, that's great too, just to kind of keep your head in the game. All step 2 for me is a big one. Building your accountability army, I call it. So number 1 is always we have to be accountable to ourselves. And that's hard sometimes. So sometimes you might need a little bit of help and you hire a trainer or something like that. But also, like, building that support network around you is really important when you're trying to make changes. It's really hard if you have a partner or like a spouse or people in your life that aren't kind of going in the same direction. It can be really hard to maintain. You're sitting there making these health changes, and your friend right there is sitting there, eating the pizza that you really want to eat, or like laying on the couch just chill, relaxing. So to kind of share with everybody in your life that these are your goals, these are your plans, and you really want their support. Okay, so I mean, I hear a lot of times people at work, you know, Susie's just baked like a cherry pie and, you know, bringing her delicious homemade muffins to work, and they're like right there and you can smell them. It's hard. Okay, those are the times when you have to just like dig deep, put the blinders on, move to a different cubicle. But so that's really important, is just to let those people know in your life, listen, help me out here. Um, and then, you know, you'll be surprised that how many people you will inspire. You know, I have a lady that I've worked with for a while, and she made huge changes, and it was so incredible. And she let everybody at her office know, I need you to not bring me snacks, right? And, you know, people started to take notice and be like, wow, like I love this attitude, and it rubs off, right? And it really creates this awesome energy around everybody. And I think, so you have no idea the ripple effect that you can have. So I think that's really important, is just to kind of let everybody know and inspire them. The other big thing is to create a plan. Okay. It's almost like if you're opening up a business, you need to create a plan. You need a business plan, right? The same thing is for you when when you have a vision and you want to create something for yourself, you need to kind of draw it out, map it out. So I always say, like, a lot of you have probably heard of the SMART goals. Okay, it's being like specific, knowing like what you want to do exactly, making your list, being able to measure how you're going to do that and how you're going to reach that goal. And is it something that's attainable and achievable? Like, is it possible to accomplish? Can you go hike Mount Kilimanjaro? Can you do the West Coast Trail? Whatever it is that you want to do. And realistic, kind of, they mesh a little bit, those ones. But just to be honest with yourself, if you're making like a realistic goal, being realistic is really important. And then timing, like, when do you want to accomplish this goal? You need to be very specific about how you want to reach these. So just diving into those a little bit more. So for instance, like if I wanted to run a race, that's everything that I'm just going to use that one as my example here on this slide, is that I want to run Wild 10K in May. So I've got a few months to do that, right? I'm going to probably, would be a good idea to get one of these nice handy Fitbits, okay? So some type of device to track, okay, that you can see how far the distance, your improvements, like how much energy you're burning. Taking before and after pictures is really important. I think that's like a really great way to track measurements. I think probably like you, like ditch the scale, and like go for things that, like, not numbers, like just the measurements, how things are fitting. That is key. And I think for me, and I'll get to that a little bit later, but that's something kind of dear to my heart there. Also attainable, like how are you going to get to that goal? What do you need to do in order to make that happen? So you're going to commit to exercising so many times a week. You're going to go on, a 5K a few times a week, maybe a longer one on Saturday. You might go to the gym that's, nearby, or down to your basement. I know there's a lot of people now with basement gyms, which is pretty cool. And I think that's awesome. And then you'll have the time to add to your schedule to make that happen for you. And then again, kind of realistic. Is it something that you can really fit into your life? Because you need to really get real with yourself and say these, because you will feel success. If you make goals that are realistic, you can enjoy your successes along the way instead of feeling like you're constantly failing or letting yourself down. And making a health change has nothing to do with that. It's really celebrating all your strengths. So yeah, if you have time to work out before work or on your lunch break or while the kids are doing the homework, make that plan on when you're going to be doing your exercise, because that is probably the number one thing that I hear is, I don't have time. So it really boils down to that it's not a huge priority for you. If you really cut the crap with yourself, you will always make time for the things that you want to do, right? For sure. So it is have that honest conversation with yourself and get real about when you're going to do it. It's not always lovely to be waking up at 4:50 or 5 a.m. Sometimes it's painful, but like once you're done, you're up. I'm like, sometimes when I usually have really early morning clients, like 5:30 in the morning. So every single time I think I'm going back to bed after this, like for sure for a nap. I just never do. I'm like, woo, I'm ready to go, right? So you will feel good. You just got to get there. And then timely, like it's going to be a certain amount of time for me to accomplish this task. So just having those kind of like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, just make that plan. Like if you have a piece of paper in front of you right now, just write smart, write that out. And just right now, think of little things that would be important to be on that list. Okay. Now, so creating the goal list. This is kind of the list within the list, okay? This is really, really important. And for me, this is like really key. So you're going to break down your kind of SMART goals into little bite-sized pieces that are going to help you work towards your goal on a daily basis so that you're always taking action. And that's another thing that everyone's been talking about is taking action. It is true. You just have to get there. Doesn't matter if you don't want to, just take a step, make a decision. So I like to think daily goals, weekly goals, and monthly goals. So for the daily goals, it can be everything from I'm going to take the stairs at work, I'm going to like park far away, I'm going to take the dogs for a walk. Any type of added movement that you can do throughout the day is best. If you're sitting waiting for your coffee and you're staring at it, waiting for it to finish, do 10 squats. Like it's not going to kill you. Before I go into the shower or something like that, I always do counter push-ups. I don't know why, it's a thing. I'm like how many can I bust out? Like really nice and tight triceps. Like I love it, right? So I always get my clients to do things like that. So just the littlest things make a huge difference. All my kids got pull-up bars for Christmas. They got them all in their doors. I'm like, before you go in there, you got to do a pull-up. Just kidding, but it's been fun. Everything from like you would attest to this, Kelly, counting your sugars throughout the day. Like those added sugars are killer, right? So I think it's little things like that, just kind of being mindful about what you're putting in there. Completing your scheduled workouts. Okay, everybody on this, you must listen to this. You must book yourself in like you are a VIP superstar. Okay, because if you don't book it in, it's like everybody else can come first, and that's not happening right now. So you are making an appointment with yourself, and you're going to put in your calendar. Like I use that Google Calendar, and I have Kelsey's workout. Like that is my time. That is how I take care of myself and not be crazy. So that's important. So you're going to do that, and you're just going to kind of put all the different things that you can think of that you can do during the day that can help you towards your goal. And then you're going to break it down to weekly goals, and that things that you can do on a weekly basis, like meal prep. I mean, you want to fuel your body, obviously, for your fitness. A lot of times people don't feel enough. I find they start to like exercise really heavy, and then they're like restricting their calories, and their body it's not getting what it needs, right, to work out that hard. So getting your meal prep done, booking yourself a couple days of the week to work on your body maintenance, like fascial release, just like flexibility. That is really, really key. And just having that time to like restore function in your body, like you're working out so hard, and all of a sudden you got really like tight chest, things are really tight, and you don't have the same movement anymore. So like as a weekly goal, I really do recommend like a 1 to 2 body maintenance day, and it's like 15 minutes. There's a really awesome Kelly Starrett is an incredible coach, and he does a mobility WOD, and it's incredible. So I follow him all the time. So if you ever want to like see some of those things, that's your guy. And then monthly goals. So action steps that you take on that monthly basis. So kind of if you want to, at the very start of the month, like your start of your journey, I want to be able to do 10 push-ups. At the end of the month, you should be working towards that throughout the month. And at the end of that month, you bust out those 10 push-ups, and you see like how much strength you have, your strength increases. Like, do you feel stronger in the month? Like, take your monthly photos and your measurements. Like, that's just kind of all of these things. Write them down and break it down like this so that you can see what it's taking to get you there. So if you want your 10 push-ups, you're going to have to work all month to get them, because push-ups aren't easy. And I see a lot of weird ones. Okay, so it's important to work hard. Okay, moving on here. Okay, so take action. This is step 4. Like we were talking about before, you have to get up and do it. Just like be like Nike, just do it. I hope I don't get sued for saying that or something. I was like, should I don't, anyway. So get a pen and paper out and write out your plan. This is key. So tonight, if you are, I want to make a change and you're just sick of where things are right now, writing out your plan is going to make you feel amazing because you have a goal and you have purpose and you have some structure. That always feels great. And then post it wherever you're going to see it, so you always have that reminder. That's key, is to be able to see it. And then step 5 for me is never stop setting goals. I think that's really important. Once you've mastered those 10 push-ups, let's try maybe a different type of push-up, and let's try and do 10. Let's advance it to like tricep push-ups. Let's be able to do a pull-up. Let's be able to run a race, or keep up with your kids for the full hour. Whatever it is, like big, small, it doesn't matter. But I think you just always kind of challenge yourself and take yourself out of that comfort zone. Do things that freak you out, because that's how you grow. I've done a lot of those, and it is terrifying. This is somewhat terrifying, but I mean, you have to roll with life, right? And just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Once you do accomplish something, one of your goals, set out another one. Just never stop. Don't get comfortable, because that's boring. Okay. This is kind of, this next little bit is really, really important. And if anyone has questions, please, we'll get to them at the end. Don't go too hard too fast. So when you're starting your workout journey, don't like jump into the deep end and all of a sudden you're like trying to get out, and you've lifted, you're going in, you're picking up those 20s, and you're like, you're just killing it, but you really might kill yourself, and you don't want a shoulder injury. So just do your mobility, have a good warm up. Like, honestly, take your time and increase your weight, your resistance, in small increments, slowly. Like if you were doing, let's say, 8 to 10 reps of a given exercise, and the last couple are challenging, that's good. That's safe to say, let's stay there for a little bit. And then when you do it again, maybe a couple of weeks later, if it's like, hey, I can blow through those, I can do probably 15, then it's time to probably increase the weights, no more than 10%, 5 to 10% is usually kind of typical once you've kind of reached that plateau and your muscles have adapted. And always, like I said before, include that mobility and maintenance and recovery into your workout schedule. That is really key. A lot of people skip the warm up because it's boring and they just want to get right to it, or they go to the gym and they just watch somebody and doing a couple arm circles, and and they just do a couple things and they're ready to go. But you really do need to warm up your muscles and get your body ready for the movement. Even if you are just walking marches, some butt kicks, it doesn't have to be sprints or anything like that. You just want to warm up slowly, but don't not do that, because it's really important for your body. And then take care of it after. So like I said, some mobility. I've got some amazing mobility exercises that really, really help you move better. I think the key, as personally for me as a trainer, I want to let my clients move better. It is not about getting them skinny and shredded. I mean, that's always nice, but it's more about did I make that person better? When they left me, or if they left me, which I mean, I hope, please don't leave me, but did I help them move better? That's really important to me. Are they exercising correctly? I can't say enough about that. For me, form is everything. You can't progress properly, or you can create imbalances if you aren't doing things properly. And number one, obviously, you can injure yourself. So really, if you're not sure, it's important to talk to a professional. Okay, when I go to the gym, sometimes I want to do this. I can't even look because I'm watching somebody do a deadlift and they're like a hunchback and their back is curved, and I'm like, okay, it's about to happen. It's going to happen. And I can't even believe it. But I can't look because, they're putting all this effort in, and it just makes me sad. They're doing all of this work, but they just don't have the knowledge just how to put their body in the right position. And if someone could just show them, so just look online, Google the form if you have to, if you can't hire somebody, but just really think about your form and your position. Kelly Start, again, is just someone that you might want to write down. Also me. And then also just to be sure that you include all of your muscle groups, because that is really important. You don't want to create an imbalance. I know we've all, like, you see the memes of like the guy with the jacked up chest and like skinny little chicken legs. So that's a big thing. Like that's a real thing. So it's not just bench press. You got to include that back. Like that is really important. If you want to like keep your shoulders back and have good posture, you have to kind of, if you work the front of the body, you work the back of the body, right? Like it is all about balance. And reducing injury, because when you do have muscle imbalance, you do have risk for injury because they can't work together properly. Should take a breather. I felt like I'm really going hard here. I should take a sip of water, excuse me. Okay. Also, sorry?
I said it's a workout, right?
It is. I'm parched. Another thing that I think is awesome is cross training. Try everything, do everything. Don't just go to the gym and bicep curls. Like get in there, grab a medicine ball, Google all the things you can do with it. TRX, those are some of my favorite things. Like if I have to build a gym and I only have maybe 3 or 4 things, I want a TRX, I want a BOSU ball, I want a medicine ball, some free weights, maybe a bench. Like that's all you need. And if I had nothing, if I could only choose one thing, I would probably choose a TRX. They are amazing. So just making sure that you're training your endurance, right? That you're like aerobic, you're challenging your cardiovascular system. You're working your strength, your balance. Clients hate when it's balance day, single leg get-ups and like, one-legged exercises and they're all over and my balance sucks. Well, yes, but that's why we train it, right? So doing things that maybe are frustrating, that's really important. So just kind of make sure you hit the whole gamut of all of the training possibilities and just mix it up for yourself and mix it up for your body because it always needs some change. So I love a good HIIT workout, just something that's like intense for, so many minutes. That's always fun. And I love group classes as well. That keeps the energy going. Posture, super important. If you're stuck behind a desk all day and your little chest is like, right, their chest muscles are super tight and your back is all like weak and you need to be able to strengthen that back, do some rows, right? Like get that strength so the shoulders come up. That's really important. And your little hip flexors, your hamstrings from sitting all day. There's a lot that you can do to combat these things, and it's really important to be mindful of your posture. One little quick test that I do with clients is I just have them to stand right in front of me, and I don't tell them why because I don't want them to correct anything. So I just say, stand there, normally hands to your sides. And what I'm looking for is what do I see of their hands? So if they're standing there and I see this part of their hand like that, it just shows me that their arms are like internally rotated, right? And that they don't have kind of the strength and the flexibility and the mobility for them to go back. If they were, you would see the sides of your hands. So that's just a note to myself that I can see that we need to do a little bit of this, right? And just work on that posture a little bit. Next one, form is everything. I think I got to that one, how important it is to just perform things properly and just get the help, ask. That's really important. And be patient, be kind to yourself. This is a process. And I think it's really important to celebrate the tiniest things, like doing one push-up, that's amazing. Like do one push-up, that's amazing. Not like a head bob thing with a piked bum, I don't know, just a nice neutral spine, your neck and head are aligned, your hands are in the right position, your chest hits, you're smelling that floor. That is what you want to see, right? So I think that's really important, is just to like break it down. I mean, I remember one day back in the day when I couldn't even do one push-up and it was like I was like dying. But now I think it's one of my favorite exercises. I just love the power of a push-up. So just relax and take it slow. Don't dive in and progress, I think. And you know what? Have some fun, because I love having fun when I'm working out. If I have one goal, if someone hates exercise, I'm like, yes, I will transform you. Like that is my goal, is I want them to have fun. Like it is like, it's not that I will not give you one of those if you aren't, you know, doing what you need to do, but I want people to smile and enjoy this process, because if they hate it, it's something that's not going to become like a habit or kind of a lifelong, habit really. So kind of those are my tips. I don't even know what time. Oh, it's time. 1:59. Crushed it.
Woo! Well, Kelsey, not only are you obviously an expert in this field, but you're also a fantastic comedian. Like, I'm laughing.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see me here. I think everyone else can see me. Oh my gosh,
That was awesome.
That was amazing. And like, look at those PowerPoint slides. I love PowerPoint, and I think I need to hire you.
Oh, okay, so I have a confession.
Oh.
It did this for me. I know I can't take credit. I just got to be honest, because I did have a PowerPoint. It didn't look like this, guys. It didn't. So, but then there's this little thing on the end that says like, can we beef this up for you? And I'm like, why, yes. And I touched it and all these options.
Wow.
It's true.
Cool.
So
I need to learn.
Yeah, I love it too.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. No, amazing. That was fantastic. Kelsey, I love it. Just covered it all. And
awesome.
So smart, and
yes,
you know, it just all makes so much sense. And I loved how you said making time, right?
Yes.
You need to make time, like, because if you don't, it's not going to happen. So that, and then really hitting on the point of as well of you're exercising more, you're trying to build up your stamina and train, but
yes,
eating less. So many
yes.
do that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then they feel like crap.
Yeah, exactly.
And then really, I think too, how you shared about breaking up the goals, right? Like, what is your daily goal, monthly goals, weekly goals? That even for me, like, well, yeah, that makes sense. You know, you don't have one like major goal. It's like, what's your goal?
Yes, bite-sized pieces that we can manage, and like we can do this, and it's like success every single day. I walk the dog. Yes.
Exactly.
You know, you feel amazing. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just gonna pull up your slide here so people know where to get in touch with you. And sorry, just again, we're a couple minutes is fine. 2 questions. So if someone asks, my shape is changing, but why is the scale moving? I'm sure everyone asks that.
Yes, it is. And it's really hard for people to wrap their head around that. And the simple part is like a pound is a pound. Fat, muscle, they're both a pound, but muscle is more dense and takes up less space than fat. So your body composition will change and you will look leaner, right? But you may still be the same weight. So I always tell people, especially if you're like a scale obsessed person, just get rid of that scale. Like, honestly, we don't need it. We need to track measurements. So I think that's the key.
Yeah. And that's a great explanation too, right? Instead of just saying, oh, muscle weighs more than fat. No, you're right. It doesn't.
You're changing your body. It's just getting lean.
Exactly. And then, yes, I'm sure this is another question you get asked a lot, especially from women. They want to lift weights, but they don't want to bulk up.
Yeah. So this is not easy to do. So I'm just going to assure everybody that it won't. You are going to probably go into like lifting manageable reps, like between 8 to 15 reps. If you're wanting to get to the Hulk position, you are going to go low reps and really, really heavy. So, I mean, that is a kind of a purpose type of workout, like you are training for that specifically. When you're just doing your general fitness and general improvements, you will not bulk up like that, because that's not where, that's not how we have to target your workouts and reps and ranges. So don't worry, you're just going to sculpt.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think a lot of women, they really are truly worried about that. So it's all and building muscle and resistance exercises is so important for so many things, right? And right? postmenopausal women,
Mm-hmm.
and resistance, right, is going to help with that.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
We won't take up any more time, but thank you so much.
So you're so inspirational. You've probably seen there's a couple comments from a few of your fans that have joined, but I'm so happy. Again, everyone has been phenomenal today, but
yes, it's been amazing.
Yeah, and so I'm so grateful to have connected with you or been matched with you.
Yeah, thanks, Rita.
So yes, this is Kelsey's information. Any questions, send her way. I'm sure if they hit up your website, there's a connect.
You bet. Absolutely.
You.
Great.
But,
thank you so much.
Thank you.